Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? It's me, Mr. 4Capscaler. You know, people been asking me about this game. Have you ever played The Thing? I said, well, I did see the movie. It's a classic with Kurt Russell and a bunch of other great actors, classic actors, and of course the great John Carpenter. The great John Carpenter, the man behind the horror movies like the Halloween and this one. So, you know, John Carpenter worked with Kurt Russell. I think Kurt Russell is famous because of John Carpenter. I mean, honestly, you know, Kurt Russell is a great actor, but he became famous and known because of John Carpenter, because John Carpenter really shed the light on Kurt Russell with this character, Snake Plissken, in Escape from New York. And then from there, they did The Thing, and after The Thing, they did Big Little Trouble in China, and a bunch of other movies too as well. And I would love to see, honestly, you know, I would really love to see a true sequel to the original Thing with Kurt Russell and some other cast if possible. Well, it was only Kurt Russell that stayed alive. Spoilers, obviously. Kurt Russell and Keith David, right? What was it Keith David and Kurt Russell? There are only two actors, two characters that survived in this movie. But anyway, we're going to talk about the game. The reason I'm mentioning the movie, because this game is based on a movie, and this game, it's really a sequel to the movie. In a way, it really ties in with the movie. So if you've never seen the movie, I would suggest that you see a movie. Before we start the game, I want to say a couple of more things. Like, how did I find out about this game? Well, what happened is, like I said, I used to be subscribed to PlayStation Magazine, and PlayStation Magazine had this article about the movie The Thing, and they're making a game that's going to be a sequel to the movie. Obviously, Kurt Russell's not in it, but they have these other rescue teams. They're going to be going in and checking out this. This is after what happened. You know, this is after the disaster, after the Kurt Russell, and then they come in to investigate. You know, these Norwegian bases. As you all know, South Pole. It's no one can claim that land. It's just that people have certain zones where, okay, this is the United States zone. This is the French. This is Norwegian. This is the, it's being used for scientific purposes. Nobody can't claim South Pole. Like, you can't claim it. You can't buy it. You can't own it. There's a treaty, global treaty. It's only used for scientific purposes. Okay? Here I am going on about, but hopefully this kind of, see, when I do these commentaries, I'm also trying to give you some knowledge, some based knowledge, so that way you guys have some understanding. Not only do I tell you about the movie, but also tell you about the South Pole and how South Pole is. It's in Antarctica. That's how this movie, it's set up, and it's pretty accurate. The movie, it's really accurate in terms of like how the Antarctica land is operated in different zones, where different countries are using, they have their own like zones, like I just said earlier. You know, no one can claim any land, but they do have to respect each other's scientific zones. You know, United States has its zone, Norwegians have their own zone, Russians have their zone, so everybody's using their zones, but they all kind of work together, but they all respect each other's rules, but nobody can claim that land. So anyway, that's what this game is really about. It's a rescue mission after the disaster in the first movie, in The Thing, and Kurt Russell. The one thing I was really kind of disappointed, I wish that we learn more about Kurt Russell and what happened to Kurt Russell. Where did he go? Did he survive? So I always felt that this movie truly, if John Carpenter is going to do another movie, I think he should team up with Kurt Russell. I would love to see an older Kurt Russell and then him going back to the same scene. And then, I don't know, maybe there's so much John Carpenter, if it's being treated right, this could be a really great sequel. Because this movie, the way it's set up at the end, it's really set up for a great sequel. But I don't know if John Carpenter is going to do another one, if Universal is going to do it. I think it would be great if they ever made a sequel. But I want it to be done right. It has to be done right. And but anyway, this game, it's based on the movie, but it's after the movie. And what's so unique about this game, before we start it, I know it's been about 6 minutes. I'm going to start the new game. The way the game works, it works in terms of survival and also teamwork. You do have to take care of your teammates. You have to give them a weapon. You have to give them a health bar. And you have to kind of be responsible for their trust, because they don't know whether or not you are infected or not. And it's really a interesting game where you constantly are looking at your teammates. They're with you, whether or not one of them is infected or how they feel, what their state of mind is. So it has all of these elements inside the game, which I found very interesting. So let's start the new game and let's look at the beginning of the game. I'm going to start it up really quick. Sorry about my 7 minutes, but I felt I needed to clarify some things before we officially start doing this. I'm not pre-recording this. I wanted to do it in real time so you guys can see it as I'm playing it. There it is. This is a PlayStation 2 game. It really shows you just how many games came out on PlayStation 2. Not to mention The Godfather 1 and 2, Mafia 2, Scarface, Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Vice City. I mean, not 5. I'm sorry. Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, 3, and 4. Actually, I'm sorry. Grand Theft Auto 4 showed up on the PlayStation 3. I'm sorry. So, Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, 3, Vice City. Okay, the Vice City was there. So, a bunch of games. I mean, a juggernauts of games. And this is just one example of them. Okay. So, if you really want to buy a console, an old console that supports both the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 game, PlayStation 2 is your best bet, man. You're going to be getting a juggernauts of collections of games. I mean, really, juggernauts. It's going to take you a while to collect all of these games, but when you combine PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games, it's really a endless fun of games. Not to mention BMX Triple X that also came out on the PlayStation 2. Alright, it's been 8 minutes. I apologize for me mumbling and bumbling, but I do have to, since we're doing this nostalgia gaming, I do have to kind of express this to new generation, just what a big deal PlayStation 2 was. And I think there's a reason why PlayStation is held at the highest regard. It's because of pure domination, man. Like I said, it killed Dreamcast, it killed Sega, and even Xbox. Had a hard time keeping up, which it does right now with the PlayStation. PlayStation, I would say, definitely is. I would say they've been leading ever since, man. They revolutionized the gaming. They are the leaders of the games. And I'm sorry if the Xbox fans are having a hard time understanding this, but that's the fact. And this is coming from a guy who owns freaking every console. So, there you have it. And I'm not doing this to brag about it. I'm just simply, this is a fact. PlayStation, there's a reason why they're leaders in gaming. Because of, look at these games. Now let's start this game. It's been 10 minutes. I apologize. You can dislike the video for me mumbling 10 minutes. I'm sorry. But I had to, you know, tell you this, express my feelings, so that way you guys understand how I feel. We'll put on a normal. Now, this is the beginning of the game. They're showing you this is a Norwegian team and what happened at the Norwegian base. I thought I did a great job with the graphics. This is the beginning of the game right here. It still looks great, you know.
Blake, it's Whitley. What's the situation?
Not good.
What do you see?
Not a goddamn thing in this storm.
Have you found anything?
Well, your transmitter's down and everything else is foobar.
What do you mean?
The base is gone, Colonel. It looks like massive explosives damage. Any clues here are gonna be like finding a needle in a haystack.
Understood. Do a recon, see if you can find anything that'll give us an idea what happened. I can try to get the chopper back to you within an hour, but visibility's falling fast and the report for your area is not very good.
Okay. We'll make a sweep and report back.
Roger. Meanwhile, I'll check up on Alpha Team. Oh, Blake, just remember it's 40 below out there. We both know exposure could sneak up on you. Keep your team together and get them to shelter as quickly as you can.
Roger that. Blake out.
And I really like the voice acting was done really nice. I like this guy that was doing the voice acting for this game. Even to this day, this game still holds up in terms of graphics and in terms of a very unique gameplay. As you can see right here, it's letting you know right away on how to play the game, so you will not be confused. I think every game should have something like this that let you know exactly what you should do, how you should do it. It really gives you all the necessary tutorials within the game to set you up as a prologue as to what you're going to be facing throughout the game. Another important thing is it's below 40 degrees below zero, and of course you have to watch your health, so they're letting you know, even though you do have to wander outside to go from one point to another point looking for these facilities, but you do have to be careful. You do have to, from time to time, find some hiding spots, go inside to stay warm, because if you don't, you will die, because you don't want to freeze to death. So not only do you have to worry about your and this is the challenge about this game, not only do you have to worry about fighting these monsters, these things, these viruses, mutants, but at the same time, you have to watch your health bar. And you also have to watch your health bar of your other teammates. And you got to make sure that your teammates are in the best of health as well. And you also will have objectives, like you see the one on top, upper top corner right there on the left. And right now you see my health bar. These are my teammates. Like I said, you can choose every and each individual teammate here, and you can tell them where to go. If there's somewhere for them to go, this thing will be filled up. There will be an icon that says, okay, go and fix the breaker room, you know, for the electricity, or go fix that, or do this or do that. So you can give them a weapon. If you have a weapon, you can give whatever weapons you have, whatever you have, a flamethrower or extinguisher or whatnot. You can give every and each of your teammates, you can give them an item, and this will also earn their trust to you. You know, the more you help them, the more you give them, the more trust you will earn from them, which is another cool thing. And that was something that was in the movie, you know, whom you can trust. And as you all know, Kurt Russell character couldn't trust pretty much anyone. I mean, because, you know, anyone could be infected, but everybody's lying. So, and only one way to find out, to see what your blood is. You know, if you have a different color on the blood, that's it. You gotta go. We have to flamethrower your ass. Barbecue your ass. That's it. So this is another cool, unique feature about this game, and this is what I liked. You know, I was really happy about this game when it came out, because they didn't just make some quick cash grab license from the movie type of a game, but they really did it right. They really put an effort into this game, because the developers of this game that approached Universal Studio, you can tell that they were passionate about the movie. They were passionate about the design of the movie, the monsters, and they really wanted to do it right. And this is a true sequel to the movie, except, you know, Kurt Russell's not in it, but it is a sequel to the movie. You know, however, like I said, I would love to see a true sequel done by John Carpenter, if possible, with Kurt Russell, for them going back to the Antarctica and then finding out what happened, you know, who took over that scientific team, and what happened to the virus. Did the government get a hold of it and whatnot, you know. So the entities of that virus and where it came from. I think there's so much that can be done with the sequel, if John Carpenter and Universal Studios decide to do it, and I'm sure Kurt Russell would come back if John Carpenter decides to do it, because they're great friends. They've known each other for 30 years, so I'm sure Kurt Russell would be on board. So if you're watching this, Kurt Russell and John Carpenter, if you're watching this, make it happen. Do it. Make it happen, man. Make that sequel happen, man. I'm telling you, it would work. All right. Now, speaking of John Carpenter, he did produce another movie. It's a true sequel. I think he directed it. Halloween, and Jamie Lee Curtis is back, and I think that movie this October is going to be really great. I heard a lot of rumors about the movie, and it's done really well. It's like a true sequel, and it's done really, really well. Of course, the original director, it's doing it, so it's going to look really, really good. And that's how every sequel should be done. It should be the original director, the original writer, and the original cast. That's how it should be done. So as you can see, you can also tell your squad to follow you, and they will say, yes, let's go. You see your blue bar. You have to watch out for that blue bar. You got to make sure that you do have a flashlight here, I think. Not right now, but in the other part of the game, you can use a flashlight and flamethrower. So what you want to do right now is you want to go ahead. You want to stay inside. See, once you go inside, then your health bar is back to normal, so you don't have to worry about it. So let's go inside this facility right here. So this is where it explains to you like how to communicate with your squad. Your squad is made up of 3 different characters. You're always going to embark into different characters in this game because this is a rescue mission. It's not a scientific mission, it's a rescue mission. Your job is to go in there, rescue as many of them as you can, find out whether or not they're infected. I mean, I don't want to spoil the entire game. You do have to play it throughout the game to find out what happens all the way to the end, which I'm not going to spoil. But this is what's so unique, is you get to communicate with your squad. You get to earn their trust. You get to tell them what to do, where to go. They can also help you out if they see that you are that your health bar is low. They'll actually help you out as well, which I found that also interesting as well. That they're there to help you out as well, but you have to earn their trust. You know, some of them, if you don't help them, they're not gonna trust you. So you have to be careful. You see what it says right here. Your squad mates are intelligent people, and they will react to your actions based on how much they trust you. When you enter the squad menu, you will see a bar above the names of each squad member that shows their current level of trust. So right now, it's basically telling you hold on, let me get my other guy. I think he was left outside. Was he? Come on, he needs to come with us. I think he's our he needs to come with us. So group follow. Okay. Now they're all gonna follow me. So you need to select the entire squad to follow you. You see, I told him to stay and he would have froze to death. So you need to make sure what type of orders you gave to your squad. Now he's gonna follow us. Everybody's gonna be coming in here to meet up. There he is. Now everybody's here. And now we're all good to go. Now, when you go into a facility, you need to examine the facility. You need to find out what the problem is. The power's out. How do we fix the power? So there's a lot of investigation being involved in this game. A lot of examination. You have to examine the facility. You have to make sure that everything's working properly. So I am using my Xbox controller. This is the PlayStation 2 emulator, and this game seems to be running pretty good on the PC SX2 emulator. So we're gonna go over here and try to fix this. We're gonna examine. For example, here this needs to be fixed. You see, whenever you see the hand icon, it means that you can do something by pressing the 0 button. So look out for this for you, so you can explore. Now he's your electrician or technician, if you will. So you're gonna use him to fix stuff. So you're gonna click circle, and he's gonna fix it. And you'll be able to go inside this room, and you'll have the power come back on. Now, once you have the power come back on, you can also examine more in this facility. You can also switch to your gun from third person to a first person view. All you have to do is press the R1. And this is really handy when you are fighting these monsters, you know, like you can switch between a third person and a first person. So this is another great unique feature inside the game. It is a third-person game, but I love the fact that they gave you the option when you are fighting the monsters. you can switch between a third person to a first person to accurately kill the mutants and the thing. And that's what I like about the game. It was done really well, I do have to say. Now your medic will automatically save you and patch you up once he sees you. See, he's patching me up right now. So it is a squad team game, but sometimes you work alone. Remember, sometimes they're going to send you off to a different base to examine, and then you have to find some more survivors. But when you're finding these survivors, you really got to be careful whether or not they're infected or not, and whether or not you can trust them. Because remember, you don't want to get infected either. And that's the scariest thing about the thing, is you don't know who's infected. And a lot of these bases can be infected with this thing, you know. So it's one of those things you have to be careful. You can collect the guns, ammo, stuff. You can close the door if you want, and then open it. And it's also important for you to re-examine all of these things, you know. Check everything, examine it. You can switch from, like I said, third person to a first person to see a little bit better, to examine the area, which comes in handy. Alright, so what we want to do next is we want to continue. We want to go to the other side of the facility and continue. And explore. But we have to be careful how we explore. Now, there's going to be some familiar stuff. Now, this facility right here is the one that was in the movie, like in the Kurt Russell movie, in John Carpenter movie. And you will see some familiar stuff that's gonna show up in this game.
This mission is bullshit.
So you gotta be careful here. You want to make sure that you cross as fast as you can and avoid the these temperatures. Now, this is a locked door, and you need to fix the junction box. Some of them require the key in front of you. So, but right now, we're not going to look for that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to examine here. And here I'm going to show you exactly what I was talking about. This is part of the game where we're going to find that UFO ship. Because apparently this virus came from extraterrestrial entities, aliens, whatever you want to call them. Another species. Now, did they purposely release this virus to kill us all? Well, that would be one way of looking at it. You know, a lot of people have been talking about this movie when it came out. But what better way for the aliens to get rid of us than to send some type of a virus where we all kill each other and we can't cure each other? An invisible virus, you know. That would be the one way of them just clean to wipe us out. They don't necessarily have to redirect the asteroid or destroy us that way, or use the nuclear power to destroy us. They don't need to do it that way, because then they would be destroying the planet. I think the best way to cleanse the planet of inhabitants, it's by using the virus. And by using the virus, that's the one way of you cleansing whatever living creatures that live on that planet, and that's us in this case. So that was my theory. You know, everybody's got their own theory, and I think this is why the sequel it's really needed for this movie. I'm not talking about that. I know there was a prequel in the movie, but that prequel really sucked. Let's be honest. I know there's a prequel, and that prequel in the movie really sucked. I just didn't like it, and I don't know what Universal was thinking, but let's just forget. Look, let's forget about that movie. It was never made. That thing, the prequel. Let's forget about that movie as if it never existed. Okay, I'm gonna take it in consideration that that movie was never made, and I'll only take in consideration that only John Carpenter thing exists. And then hopefully John Carpenter and Kurt Russell will team up, and Universal will give them as much money as they need to make the sequel and make it right. So we'll see what happens. But here's some familiar stuff you're going to see right here. So let's look at this scene right here.
What the hell?
What do you think it is, Captain?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Looks like a goddamn UFO to me. This shit gives me the creeps.
Yeah, we're not alone in the universe and all that crap. Check it out and move on.
This tape when I'm finished. If none of us make it, at least there'll be some kind of a record. The storm's been hitting us pretty hard now for 48 hours. We still have nothing to go on. One other thing. I think it rips through your clothes when it takes you over. Windows found some shredded long johns, but the name tag was missing. They could be anybody's. We're all very tired. There's nothing else I can do. Just wait. R.J. McCready, helicopter pilot, U.S. Outpost North 31.
Now, as you'll remember, that was the recording that the Kurt Russell made in the movie for, you know, the rescue mission. Because he knew that the rescue mission will be coming here one way or the other. Alright, we don't want to spend too much time here. We want to go back. It's one of those things where you really, like I said, you know, I'm going back because it is one of those things where you really have to be careful in what you bar, so that way you don't freeze to death. Now let's go back and let's continue. We have a full health bar here. Alright, let's go. And I think it makes it more challenging, where you constantly have to keep an eye on your temperature. All right. Now we're in another facility here, Infirmary. So you see there's no power here, so what we got to do here, we got to examine this place, and then we need to find a breaker and fix it. Now you will find some notes as you go throughout the game. You'll find some notes where the squad that was here, they were leaving all these notes, so that way, like an alibi, they were leaving these notes so that way when the rescue mission does come, they have some clue as to what happened, because they knew that they're gonna die, they're infected, so before they die, they want to make sure when the rescue mission comes in that they understand what took place here, what happened here, you know. And we have seen that in a movie where Kurt Russell was constantly using his cassette tape player and talking to it and making all the recordings, so that way when the rescue mission does come, they have some clue as to what happened here. Now we need to find the a breaker. First you need to acknowledge it where it is, and then you need to call your technician. It's right here.
I need an engineer.
So you go click on your technician, Mr. Barrows, and then you tell him to go and fix it, and he's gonna do it.
Okay.
And now the power is gonna come back on. You will see in a minute. But we'll see some stuff happened here. We'll see some gruesome stuff. Like right here, there's a lot of blood. Now, here's another thing. When you're some of your teammates, obviously, they will not be able to handle it, and some of them will panic when they see something like this.
Oh, Christ, what is that?
Chill out. Everybody keep tight till we figure out what's going on.
Now, this is another cool thing about the game. Some of your squad members will not be able to handle it. They're going to be panicking. They're going to have a panic attack, and they're going to be scared. So you need to calm them down. Like, you need to keep an eye on your squad members, make sure that they're not freaking out, make sure that they're like in a right state of mind. So you have to calm them down, and you know, the way of doing that is you taking him away from the scene, putting him in a different place so they can stay, which I'm going to show you to in a minute. And right now you can see Weldon, which is our medic, most important one, the medic. He's freaking out. You see how he's like shaking and twitching and all that, meaning he's afraid. So we're going to make sure that he follows me.
Yes.
Hold on.
All right.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So I'm gonna bring him here. I'll put him right here. I'm gonna wait for him to show up. Come here. And then I'm gonna tell him to stay. So you see he's gonna stay here. So he's not freaking out anymore. Alright, so another thing you want to do as you are... Once you have your character calm down and he's okay, now the next thing you want to do is you want to examine this facility. So you want to carefully re-examine. Obviously you need to get in here. You need a code to get in here. You need an access code. So you're going to have to go look around to find the access code. So you're going to have to carefully re-examine this place. Look at these notes. Again, you got some more notes from the squad members that were here. Now they're deceased, obviously. But they did write some memos for you to understand what happened. An infected entity has the ability to fragment and survive. Every part of it's a whole. So you see, it's such a virus that you cannot kill it. It goes from one host to another host. It can go to any host, whether it's a human, animal, what have you. And I think this is probably one of the excuse me, the scariest horror movies ever created, because this is something that you can't kill. You know, imagine if there was a virus like this. God forbid, man. Talk about the end of the world, pretty much. But luckily, it was contained in Antarctica, and it wasn't in. Imagine if this was somewhere like in New York City or L.A. Jesus Christ, forget it. And I think this is where the true sequel, like I said, should be done for this movie with John Carpenter and Kurt Russell. All right, so let's examine some more. Now, as you see, there's a computer here, and on that computer, you're going to find the note, the memo that was put in digitally for the code to access the door. You see, I have completed a 5-page report from autopsy performed on the anomalous corpse that was discovered at the Norwegian outpost. You see, this was all in the movie. In the beginning, remember when they went to investigate that ship, the crashed ship, and they found this corpse, and from that corpse, they didn't know that the corpse obviously still had a virus inside. And the virus survives and goes to another host. And now here you're going to see the code 1138, and we're going to go inside.
That's the kind of information Whitley was talking about. I gotta find that report.
But I really like the way this game was done. And even to this day, the graphics, this game still holds up. If you never played the thing and you're a huge fan of the thing, I would buy a PlayStation 2 console just for this game. I mean, there's so much in this game, and it was done really, really well. I don't know how many you are aware that the thing does exist, movie. So now we're going to use the access code here, and we're also going to be able to save the game through a tape recorder. Obviously, I'm not going to save it because I've done that. I'm already in chapter 2, but I'm doing this just to show you. But you should save the game, because if you don't save the game and you die, then you can't continue. Now here, you're going to have to tell your teammates to go ahead and fix this. First, you need to acknowledge it. There. And here you can save the game. Now, before we leave, we need to go ahead, collect our health. And another thing we need to do here, obviously, we need to demolish this place, because we collected all the necessary data. We got all the all the reports and the data. So there's nothing for us to do in this facility. We need to blow it up because it is infected. So we're gonna have to set the charges here. But before we do that, we need to go ahead and we need to collect some more stuff. We need to go outside. And we need to go back. And once you got all the data, I think we should be good to go here. Actually, there is one more thing we didn't check. There's one more thing here we forgot, which is right over here. We did forget one more thing here, and I'm gonna go to it right now. Right here. Got the extinguisher. We collected that. And now we go back. Should be good to go. Got the magazines. Alright, let's go back here. Always use these light poles. These light poles will show you where you need to go in case you get lost. Let's go inside. Stay warm. See, he helps you out. See, he always gonna cure you. If your health bar is low, he's gonna help you out. All right, so let's go back to our original facility here. Let's exit this. Let's go this way. We have to set the charges right here. We've got to go back to our original facility that we checked. Put the charges on and blow it up to the hell. Right here. I think there's something else I'm missing here. Hold on. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I know there's something else I'm missing here. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna examine some more. I'm gonna go ahead and continue examine some more. I think I know where it is. There's a one more thing we gotta do. Collect some more data. First, here's the thing. Before you can actually leave the facility and demolish it, you have to collect all the data. And there's one more thing I was missing here, which I'm gonna show you right here. First, let's go inside. Let's stay warm. I think I collected everything here. And then we're gonna go here. Yeah, see, I knew there was something else I missed here. Yeah, it was right here.
Whitley, this is Blake.
What have you got?
One body, identification says Childs, no survivors. And what appears to be a...
One body? And what?
in some kind of unidentified craft. It looks... well, like a UFO. Colonel? Colonel!
Roger. I'll have a chopper there ASAP. There's a supply crate that was dropped earlier near the base. It contains C4 charges. I want you to rig all the remaining buildings and I'll remote detonate them from here.
Affirmative. I'll contact you when we're finished.
So we need to go ahead and rig the entire place. See those blue lights? You need to follow these blue lights. They're the one they're gonna show you where you need to go. And I think we already collected the C4 chargers. They were right here. There's nothing on this chopper, so we're gonna forget about that. We're gonna go ahead and rig this place to hell, just like Kurt Russell did in the movie. So go ahead, do it. So we get some more health. Let's set the charges. Put it there. Now let's go back to the other facility. Set the charges there as well. And then we got to go back to the evac point. Once you get familiar with the map and once you get familiar with the environment, then you kind of know where to go. You know. This is just a prologue, you know, this is just the beginning of the game. The real mission starts after this. Let's set the charges here. And it's a pretty long game. It's a pretty hefty game, by the way. And I think you guys should definitely buy this game. There, set the charges here. Put them up. Put the charges there. So we got to go back. Okay, so exit here. Remember, go the way we came from. And then we have to go to the evac point, evacuation point. Okay, go inside here. Remember, I told him to stay. I need to tell him to follow me. So, group follow. So now he's gonna follow me too. Also, you see, you got to keep an eye on your crew. Make sure they're okay, if they need anything. And I think this is what's so unique about this game. It's not just that it has a good story, that's a rescue mission that continues from where the original movie left off with Kurt Russell. Although we need to find out what happened to Kurt Russell and Keith David. And I think that's where the true sequel needs to be. But this is kind of like in the middle. This is a good addition to the movie because it's in the middle, you know. And I thought they did a fantastic job. I think this is how games based on the movie should be done. They should be connected to a story. And when you have passionate developers like these developers that made this game, you can tell that they really put an effort and a lot of thought into this game. So let's go ahead and let's go to the evac point. Okay, we're finished here. Remember, we set the charges. The charges are set. There they are. You can see them right here. There's a C4 right there. We got the charger set. Let's get out of here. You can save the game if you want, but I'm not going to do it because I already did that. But you should use the typewriter to save the game. And now we're going to go to the evac point. Evac point's right here. You can see it. See the red flare. And there you go.
Colonel, we've completed the explosives placement. Standing by for evac. Anything from Alpha Team?
Negative. Could be the storm.
Must be. I've been getting partial transmissions for the last hour or so. I'm going to assemble my team. When the chopper arrives, I'll have it drop me at Alpha's rendezvous.
Negative. You have your orders, Captain. Don't put this mission in jeopardy.
I understand, Colonel, but I don't have much choice. Pierce's team is in trouble. Besides, if there are any survivors, I'm the only one on the team that speaks Norwegian. Blake out.
Blake, do you read me?
Roger, Colonel. This is Blake.
Have you found anyone yet?
Nothing yet. I just arrived. The storm is worsening. May take a while to find anything.
Looks like that little stunt of yours might pay off.
I don't understand, Colonel.
I received a partial transmission from Pierce. He's found something. Might be research. Find him and get back to me ASAP.
Affirmative. Did he say if there were any hostiles in the area?
Negative. No hostiles.
Okay, I'm on it. Blake out.
Now, in this second part of the game, you know, your other squad members have been positioned somewhere else, but you now going solo here, and this is where it becomes interesting when you go solo and you find these other members to rescue them. Whether or not they're infected, that's going to be up to you to determine as you go, and I think this is what makes the game even more interesting. Now here, obviously, you'll see there's a electricity here, so you don't want to go through here on this fence. You got to be careful.
Christ, that's gotta be a few thousand volts. I gotta find the power source.
So here we need to go find the power source, and the best way to do that is obviously go inside right here and find the source. Now, I don't recommend that you guys kind of rush through it like this. You do have to be careful because you don't know what's on the other side, so you know. You can see right there, that's where the power has been chopped up by the thing, and that's where it's broken. So you have to follow that. This room, it's locked, so we cannot go there. Now you see there's a switch here for the power. We need to use that switch. Turn it on so that we can access the other room. Now here in this other room, we're gonna find another survivor. And I think this is what's so great about the game. When you go find this other survivor, you know, first and foremost, you don't know whether or not he's infected. And you need to examine him, look at him, his state of mind. Is he freaking out? Is he not freaking out? Is he changing his behavior? So this also makes the game even more interesting, in my opinion. Now here's our first encounter with a little critter. These things are very annoying, man.
Identify yourself.
Captain, it's Carter. Christ, where's everybody?
What happened here?
Something. I don't know what they were, but they attacked us. I thought they was part of the... Wait a minute. Don't you come any closer. Where the hell did you come from anyways?
A chopper brought me in. From the U.S. Research Station, 5 clicks south of here.
I'm hurt pretty bad.
Don't move, I'll see what I can do.
Alright, so as you can see right here, first you need to help him. And then after you help him, he needs to earn your trust. You have to give him a gun. Once you give him a gun, and once he sees that you're helping him, and the more you help him, the more of a trust you're going to earn. Just like in a real life, you know, people don't know you, especially here, that he doesn't know whether he's infected or if he's infected or who's telling the truth. And I think this is where paranoia comes in, even in the movie, obviously, and then in this game too, is you trying to find out who's infected, who's not, whom can you trust. So let's go heal him really quick. See, dealing with trust. Carter isn't sure if he can trust you, and he won't cooperate with you until he does. Try giving him a weapon and some ammunition to gain his trust. Go to the squad member menu by pressing the not the circle button, but the triangle button. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to give him a weapon. I'm going to give him a weapon here. And once I give him a weapon, he's going to earn my trust. Let me give him some more ammo. Hold on.
Oh, thanks, Captain.
Now he earned my trust. Now he trusts me.
Yes, sir.
Now he's gonna follow me.
All right.
Now here we're gonna find some interesting stuff. And there's a console here, and there's also a recording tape. Recording tapes are basically for you to save the game. So whenever you see a recording tape, you need to go ahead, you need to save the game. And I highly encourage you to save the game, because if you don't save the game, you have to start all over from the beginning. So you gotta make sure that you save your game. That should be rule number 1. Now, because he was stationed here at this base, he can also fix the junction box. So you want to make sure you click on him so he can fix the junction box. See, once the power is back on, you can go ahead and you can save the game. Or here, you can also check the computer, check the log, see what it says on there. Look at the report. We're all going crazy. This thing in the ice, don't know who's human and who isn't. Morale, it's low, and I don't think our chances are good. So you kind of take your time, collect all the data, go through here. Now here on this console, it has a CCTV cameras, and these cameras can help you out. Look at certain clues. in this case, going to help us find the clue on what the code number is for us to access the other side of the door. Now, this is also another familiar area that you're going to remember that was in the movie right here. If you look at the console, you can move it around. I remember this is where they found the that body that was put in there. Remember when they were doing autopsy on the body that was infected? That's where it was stashed. It was stashed right here. And we all know the whole... Remember, there was the ice. It was a body that was stashed in ice, and it was kept here. And remember, infected the dog, and then the whole hell broke loose after that. You've seen the movie, right? If you've never seen the movie, I highly suggest you see the movie first, and then play this game. Now here, if you look closely, you can see there's a corpse, but there's also another person here. When you go scroll, there's another person here. There's the door, and there's another person here. It's just you can't see him, but he's there, and we'll encounter him pretty soon. Now here you want to zoom in, and when you zoom in, you will see a code, and the code is right here. There's a code right there, 46892. So 46892. Got the code. But first you need to go ahead and look at the door. Obviously I'm doing this wrong. You need to go find the door. But I already got the code, so we can access it.
Blake, where'd you come from?
I received some partial transmissions from Pierce. It sounded like there was a problem.
Shit, you got that right. We got ambushed by these things. I don't know where they came from, man. Everybody lost it. The squad split up.
Have you talked to Pierce?
I got part of a radio message from him. He said he was at the north section of the base. He was talking some medical mumbo shit. He said he wanted to talk to the colonel.
The colonel hasn't contacted you?
Man, I haven't heard shit from anyone.
Let me try my radio. Blake to Colonel Whitley, do you read? Blake to Colonel Whitley, urgent. Alright, let's head north and get Pierce.
So now you got 2 people on your squad. Now you just find out that your original squad and your colonel, they split up. They got attacked by these things, and you lost contact with them. So now you have to head north. You have to go ahead and find out what happened to your team. As you go and find out what happened to your team, you know, you're going to learn more and more. So obviously, you know, I'm not going to spend, there's not a walkthrough. I'm not going to go through this entire game. I'm just doing a nostalgia gaming episode, which is the episode 8 here on the thing. So in closing, before I end this video, I just want to say that the thing, this game, it's one example on how a game based on the movie should be done. And I think this is how the game based on the movie should be done. It should be connected to the movie. All right. And this was like the first game that was based on the movie that I said, hey, man, this is how it should be done. This is like the one great example on how the games that are based on the movie should be done. They should be connected. Okay, there should be a connection between the game and the movie. And I think that's how it should be done. Because all the previous games that were based on the movie, they were just kind of cashing in. They were just, it was just a money grab, you know. But this was done really well, you know what I mean. And that's what I liked about the thing. I remember when I first got this game, I had this collector's edition. that was included with the movie. Back then, you know, the big thing was the DVD, right? And PlayStation 2 was already built with DVD, so you already have a DVD player built inside. And I was able to get this game and the DVD movie together. So I got the movie DVD from Universal and the game packaged together. So it was pretty cool to get the movie and the game. And I think I got some kind of a shirt and a hat as well. It was a pretty cool deal. And I got it from the, I think it was EB Games or GameStop. I think it was the EB Games. I'm not sure. Whenever they changed it, I think whatever happened to Electronic Boutique got bought by GameStop and whatever. I don't know. I don't know the whole history, but I just remember it was an Electronic Boutique store, and I got it. It was a collector's edition. So it's a pretty cool game. Now I don't have the original game, and I don't have the. I do have a movie DVD, but I don't have the original game on the PlayStation 2. I think I traded it in, and I got something else. You know, I wish that I didn't, but I got it on the emulator, and seems to be working pretty good. So if you never played this game, I highly recommend that you go pick it up, especially for those of you who never seen the movie. If you've never seen the movie, I highly recommend, for those of you who are new generation, if you've never seen the movie, I highly suggest that you go ahead and watch the movie first and then play this game. You know. So again, yet another example of what made these old consoles, like PlayStation 2 in this case, really unique. I mean, there were so many games that came out in late 90s, early 2000s. There were so many games. As soon as this game was released, there was also a Metal Gear Solid 2 Snake Eater that came out as well. There was Ace Combat, Belkin Wars, another great addition to the Ace Combat series that came out. I mean, there were so many games that came out. Now, this was not only exclusive to PlayStation 2. You were also able to play this on the PC as well. But the PlayStation 2 version, to me, was the one that was a unique version, because you did get it with the movie. You get the movie DVD and some other goodies, the t-shirts and the hat. But it worked well. This is also the time when communication headset was released, where you can communicate with a headset. That was something that was implemented into a PlayStation 2 with a SOCOM 2 Navy SEAL, where you get to use a communication headset, and you can with the voice activation, you can communicate to your squad. That was something that was useful with the SOCOM 2 U.S. Navy SEALs, which I'm going to cover as well. SOCOM 2 U.S. Navy SEALs was an excellent squad online game, very tactical, and I played the hell out of that as well. I mean, when I think of PlayStation 2 and the amount of games that came out for PlayStation 2, it is really mind-boggling. It's like a juggernaut of games. Not to mention Soul Calibur 2, Soul Calibur 3, Dead or Alive 2. I mean, there were so many games. I think Dead or Alive 3 as well. Tekken 5, Tekken Tag Tournament, Tekken Tag Tournament 2. The list goes on and on and on. You know, like I said, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I did mention Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. And I haven't even scratched the surface as the amount of games that came out, you know. There's another game also that was exclusive called the Primal. And you got the Getaway and the Getaway 2, Black Monday. So there's a bunch of games. But this was a great game. I enjoyed it. I think you guys should play it. Like I said, I haven't even scratched the surface of this game, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to spoil it too much. As you progress throughout this game, it becomes much harder and more difficult, and then you get to learn more about what happened in the story, and it becomes even more interesting. It becomes more better and better once you get to the second, third, and fourth act, all the way throughout the end. And the way game ends, it also sets it up for another sequel, you know. So it was done really well. So there you have it. It's been about 1 hour and 16 minutes. Hopefully you guys like this nostalgia gaming video. And people have been asking me, am I going to go back to doing some more television picture settings? There will be, but I'm working on that. You know, like I said, my schedule is very tight. So whenever I get a chance to do so, I will do so. I do have some stuff in works for you guys regarding the Sony X900E and TCL and some of the settings that I want to recommend for you guys who are using your consoles on there. So that's coming down the pipeline. But anyway, it's the episode 8, and thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure, man, to go back to this game, revisit it, and it's a lot of fun. Now, regarding Friday and a live stream, what I'm going to mainly try to do tomorrow, Friday, is I'm going to try to walk you down through a variety of different games. It's going to be like a time capsule live stream where we're going to go revisit all of these games from Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, GameCube. We're going to go revisit some of these games and go through them. I'm going to call it time capsule live stream, just to kind of walk you through some of these games and what made these consoles so great back then as to a right now what we have. Right now what we have, like I said, it's a mid-range PC. You have to be always online, and it's just, you know, it's not my cup of tea, if you or not my cup of coffee, if you will. All right, so it's been 1 hour and 18 minutes. I have to do these episodes this long because I don't like to do it in 5, 10, 15 minutes because it doesn't give me enough time for me to talk about my experience and to talk about the game. In this one, I talked about the John Carpenter, Kurt Russell, and how a game that's based on a movie should be done. And this is one example on how game that's based on the movie should be done, that's connected. So there you have it. Thank you for watching it. Hopefully this video was informative, and you should go check it out. You know, you guys should definitely pick this up, whether you do it on emulator or whether you do it on a console. But I prefer that you do it on the console. Buy a console. You can get it for $100 in a good condition on eBay. Buy this game together. Get yourself component cables that split into an HDMI, and then you can go ahead, connect this to your TV, your 4K TV, and you can play this game on your 4K TV. Obviously, it's not going to be a 4K resolution. It's going to be upscaled, but it's still going to be a good experience nonetheless, and I think it's worth it. This game, it's very long. Like as you see, I haven't even scratched the surface. I just got from one level to another level. It took me about 20 minutes. Not 20 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, as a matter of fact. So there you have it. Enough of me rumbling and jumbling and blah, 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 blah. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to see you guys tomorrow with the time capsule live stream. Make sure you check it out. We'll do it at 5 p.m. I think 5 p.m. is the best time for me to do it. Everybody's going to be back from work. It's going to be in the evening. So we'll do it at 5 p.m. Okay? From 5 all the way to 11 o'clock is going to be about 6 hours. We'll go through all these games, different consoles. We'll check it out. So thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. This is part of my Nostalgia Gaming series. I will do some picture settings for the TVs and projectors. I will help you out. That's coming next week. I didn't forget about that. I know you guys have been wondering what's going on. Don't worry about it. We'll go back to Samsung KS8000 and do some picture settings on that as well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. This is Mr. 4K Upscaler. You watched the episode 8 of Nostalgia Gaming. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Cheers, guys. Have a nice Thursday, and I'll see you tomorrow with a time capsule live stream at 5 p.m. Thank you.